Welcome back to Today in Baseball. It is July 17th. The All Star break just ended. Games started up yesterday. A lot of games, full slate of games. One doubleheader. One game got canceled, or well, two rather, because it was a doubleheader. A lot of baseball. Excited to have baseball back. Glad to have baseball back. And we're going to go through what happened and what's going to be on the slate for today, what to look for, and just what's going on in baseball. So starting with like the stuff that doesn't really have to do with the games, Drew Robinson, who was the player in the minors for the Giants, who was lost an eye from an attempted suicide. He is announcing his retirement from playing baseball, but he is going to stay with the Giants and he is going to be their mental health advocate. It was offered to him by the Giants and he accepted. So, really good, looks good, all there. I'm glad for Drew. He's not out of the game. He's still with the Giants, so he's still going to be around baseball. And I read he had a tweet in his notes, and he seemed like it was he wanted to do what was right, and that's what he did. And very happy for him. Shohei Ohtani donated $150,000 to Angels staff and employees. This was the money he got from participating in the home run derby. He was planning on giving it away anyway to them, no matter what. Even if he won the million, I think he was planning on giving it to the staff. That's what was reported. So since obviously he got out in the first round, he only made $150,000. Runner-up gets $500,000, and then so on. So that's really nice of him. Just another reason to love Ohtani and love what he's doing. It seems like every day he gives us another reason just to love the guy. The Braves got Stephen Vogt from the Diamondbacks. So that's another trade going down for the Braves. They're definitely going for the division this year. I don't think they think they're out of it. Which good for them, I guess. They got Jock. He did get an at bat, but he hasn't started for them yet. But they traded for Stephen Vogt. Obviously, Travis d'Arnaud is injured, and so is William Contreras. So their catcher was Kevin Smith, I believe, and they traded for Stephen Vogt for a minor league first baseman on Saturday, so this morning. I guess I see that they're obviously still trying to get more players for their team with Acuna out, and they're still not that far behind in the division. So they still think it's possible. They think it's doable, which I could see why. It's not like they're an unreasonable amount of games out. They're only 4 games back as of right now, so I think they're going for it. So good for them. And then the Blue Jays, they are coming back to Toronto on July 30th. They play the Royals. They're coming back to the Rogers Center for the first time I think since 2019. It would have been. That's really exciting. That's very exciting. That stadium in that game, that stadium is going to be very loud. They're going to be amped up, and I think that's definitely going to be a must-watch, that game, for sure. Obviously, Canada's easing back on some restrictions right now, so they got the allowance later in the month. That's what they're going to do. Anyway, so those were like the storylines. Now into the actual games. This is what like actually matters. Just quickly went through the storylines. So we'll start out with the Mets and the Pirates. We're in Pittsburgh last night, and the Pirates won 4-1. There was a little bit of a scuffle in this game. You know, Stroman and Nagowski had a little bit of words. Nagowski didn't like Stroman celebrating, and Stroman didn't really realize, and then they started yelling at each other. Benches cleared. Nagowski kind of backed off. He didn't really go at Stroman. Stroman was the exact opposite. But in the actual game, Adam Frazier 2-run single. So, trade deadline piece. Still playing good. He's got a league leading amount of hits. I believe he has 116 around there. And then the other trade piece looking forward for the Pirates, Brian Reynolds homered. And then Wilmer Defoe also hit a solo homer. They went 4-1. After the game, Stroman went to the media, and he called Nagowski a clown. And then Nagowski went to the media, and he just kind of said, like, it happens. So they had like two way different outlooks on it. One took it personally, and the other one just kind of said it happens. What happens happens. Stroman, he may be short, but he's not afraid of anyone, and he showed it there. He was ready to do whatever he needed to do. But the Pirates did eke out the win, which at the end of the day, that's what matters for them. I mean, I guess they're not going to the playoffs. They're not winning the division anyway, but still, wins are wins. I'm interested in seeing what happens today. They play at 7:00. Should be interesting. So we'll see what happens there. Then moving on to the Padres and the Nationals. The Padres decimated the Nationals 24-8. Jay Cronenworth hit for the cycle. He went double, triple, homer, single, and the single was an infield single, which makes it even better. Tommy Pham, 4 for 6, 5 runs scored, 2 RBIs, a walk. Will Myers, 3 for 6, 7 RBIs, grand slam, a 2-run homer. Hosmer, 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. It's kind of like, once it gets to a certain point, those RBIs and those hits don't, like, they're obviously on paper they do count as much, but like in total of things they don't count as much because worse pitchers are in, or position players, and you know what I mean. Like, it just kind of loses some value because obviously it's going to be a little easier to hit. Next up, Soto also had 2 homers in that game and 4 RBIs. So he's hitting the ball. He's ready to compete. The Phillies and the Marlins had a doubleheader. The Phillies won the first game 5-2. Travis Janikowski 3 for 3 with 4 RBIs. That's his career high in RBIs in a 7-inning game, by the way. And then in game 2, the Marlins won 7-0. Starling Marte was 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs, a homer, and 2 doubles. That's pretty good considering was thought to be on the trade block. And then Aguilar, 3 for 3, 4 RBIs, homer. He had the homer in the 4th inning, and it made it 7-0, and there was no scoring after that. So the Marlins they split the doubleheader, which, that's given. That literally happens no matter what. It seems like you can't prevent it. I would have rather seen the Phillies win both games. They're 3 behind the Mets right now. They would have been 2 behind if they had won that game. So I think that would have made it a little bit more interesting. As for the Marlins, I mean, they're still like, they can win. They can win games. They've proven that they can win games in different ways. So we'll see what happens in the rest of that series. They do play Today they play at 6:05. Um, then the Astros were in Chicago, faced the White Sox, and the Astros won this one 7-1. Miles Straw, 1 for 3 with a double, 3 RBIs and a walk. Gurriel 2-run homer, Brantley solo homer. That's really it. They just kind of they beat him. Cease went 5.2 innings with 3 earned runs. And it was really Aaron Bummer who put the game out of reach. I know the White Sox only scored 1, but he allowed 4 runs in 2/3 innings pitched. For the Astros, Lance McCullers Jr., 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. So the Astros continue to just be good. That's really the extent to what it is. They're just good. Are they banging the trash can? Maybe. We don't know. I'm gonna assume not. They definitely aren't. Just a joke. Calm down. But yeah, the Astros just continue to win. And then speaking of Astros, that division, right behind them, the Athletics faced the Indians. So 2 second place teams in the Central and the West. The A's won it on a walk-off. Jed Lowry, 3-run homer to walk it off. Let me see if I can pull up. Here it is. Sean Manaea, 5.1 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. And then the Indians just kind of went around. Clase gave up the homer to Lowry. I mean, the A's they're keeping that wild card spot, which is a little annoying because it feels like that entire like AL picture. If the AL picture right now ended the season like this, I don't think I would be surprised whatsoever. So it would be Boston for the AL East, the White Sox for the Central, Houston for the West, and then the wild card would be Oakland and Tampa. I can 100% see that happening if Oakland keeps winning, which seems like they are, as long as they don't slide. But I'm not saying I want them to slide, but if they do, it would make things a lot more interesting. Because Seattle's 3.5 games back, Toronto's 4.5 games back, the Yankees are 5.5, Cleveland's 5.5, Angels are 6.5, and then after that it's all double digit behind. But I think if Oakland like got swept for a series or like just had like a little bit of a lull, that AL wildcard, that second spot, or even the first spot if the Rays do the same, that would be like extremely entertaining going into the end of the season. So we'll see. And then speaking of this, the Mariners won. They played the Angels. They won 6-5. Seager and Mitch Haniger both had 2-run home runs. David Fletcher extended his hitting streak to 25 straight games. So that's something to keep watching until it ends, obviously. But he went 3 for 5. It's not like he just got one hit. He went 3 for 5. He had a double. Ohtani had a 2-run single in the 9th inning that put them within 1. They couldn't get it done after that, but there's not much Ohtani can do after that. But he did single to put them within 1. The Mariners are very confusing because they're doing a lot better than everyone thought they would be. So, I mean, they could stay there. They could very well stay there. I don't know. I think they might slide soon. I'm not sure who they play in the next coming weeks. I can see. But if they have an easy schedule, they can very well keep up and see if they can get that second wild card spot, compete with the A's. Looks like they have the Rockies, which is they finished the series against the Angels. Then they have the Rockies, and then the Athletics, and then the Astros. So if that homestand at the end of next week, going into the week after that, if they can win both series against the Athletics and the Astros, they'll be in like a decent spot in the wild card and all that. Then they have the Rangers, not that hard. The Rays might be a little difficult. The Yankees, who knows what the Yankees will be by then. Not up to that now. then they have the Rangers, Blue Jays. They have a lot against the Rangers and the Royals. The Athletics. They could very well, if they play well, they can definitely do it. They can definitely do it if they play well. So we'll see what happens there. Cubs play the D-backs. The Cubs are in full sell mode. The D-backs are just bad. The Cubs won 5-1. Hayward hit a 2-run homer. Rizzo and Patrick Wisdom both homered. Not much here. The Cubs are selling. They traded Peterson to the Braves, obviously. They're going to trade Bryant next. Who knows who else they're going to trade. Are they going to trade Rizzo? We don't know. Baez, we don't know. So, I mean, Kyle Hendricks, if they're going full sell, if they're going blow up, Kyle Hendricks would be a good guy to trade this year. His season numbers, I believe, are incredible. He's 12-4 with a 3.65 ERA and 111 innings pitched, 1.26 WHIP. So he's playing really good, and I believe he's won his last 10 starts in a row. So he's hot. He could probably get a lot in return for him. So that's something to look at if you're a Cubs fan. Then we go to the best team in the NL. The Giants were playing the Cardinals in St. Louis. The Giants won 7-2 because that's what the Giants do. They just win. They win baseball games. There's not much we can do about it. Yastrzemski, 2-homer game. He was 2 for 4, 4 RBIs. This Giants team, Lamont Wade, 3-run homer. Brandon Crawford did exit the game in the 8th with a hamstring injury. So that's something to look at. But as far as the Giants, they're still rolling. They get it done night after night. They find their way. Wainwright for the Cardinals got the loss. 6 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. Wainwright, he's been this season. The Giants, for the Giants, Logan Webb went 4 innings pitched with 1 earned run, and then from there, not much at all. Just the bullpen coming in and doing a good job. The Giants, that division, I think no matter what, I think both wild card teams in the NL will come out of that division. The NL West, it's going to be the Dodgers, Padres, or Giants in the wild card game. In my opinion, that's just what I kind of think. The Dodgers are 2 games behind. San Diego 6 games behind. So at any point, that can flip and switch up. And then in the other NL divisions, the Cardinals are now 9 games back. So every day it's looking a little more out of reach for them. I don't know what they plan on doing. I don't know if they just stick with their team. That's what I think they should do. So we'll see. But I definitely do think that the NL East and the NL Central, whoever wins that, you're going to have to win that division to get into the playoffs, because I do think the 2 wildcard teams are going to come out of the NL West. The Braves and the Rays. The Braves obviously still think they're in it. They are very well in it. They're only 4 games back. Jock Peterson did have an at bat in this game. He had one at bat. He grounded out, but that's fine. He'll get his first start probably today. Now that I think about it. But the Rays won 7-6 in 10 innings. Freeman was 4 for 5 with a homer and 2 RBIs. Austin Riley had a 2-run homer. Dansby Swanson had a solo home run. So they just really they hit pretty well. They just couldn't really get it done. Charlie Morton gave up 3 runs in 6 innings pitched. And then from there, Jesse Chavez gave up the game losing run for the Braves. And then for the Rays, they were just pretty much everyone hit. That's kind of what happens most of the time for them. They just hit the ball around and they find ways to win because that's how the Rays work. Austin Meadows had 3 RBIs and he drove in the winning run in the 10th inning. You know, did this game not go 10 innings? No, it did. It did. Austin Meadows drove in the winning run in the 10th inning. And then Michael Wacha started. He gave up 4 earned runs. And then Fairbanks came in and got the save in the 10th inning. The Rays are just staying up there. They're a game and a half behind Boston. So one series could obviously put them in first. They're still very well in the division. However, that brings us to the next game, which would be Boston and the Yankees. And the Red Sox have a lot of games against the Yankees coming up, and they just all seem like free wins. If I'm being honest, I'm a Yankee fan. I watched this game. It hurt. It's not fun. The Yankees are not fun to watch right now. They obviously have all that COVID stuff going on. So we'll see. Judge is out. Gio's out. Half their bullpen is out. Their backup catcher is out. We don't know who knows who's going to catch Cole today because I'm pretty sure Cole pitches today. Or at least is scheduled to. Yes, he is. As for the Red Sox, Arroyo homered. JD Martinez homered. They're playing baseball. The Yankees aren't playing baseball, but the Red Sox are most definitely playing baseball. And then Eduardo Rodriguez for the Red Sox went 5.2, with no earned runs obviously and 8 strikeouts. And then Houck came in for the save. Obviously, he just got called up. He had a 3-inning save. And then Jordan Montgomery for the Yankees. He doesn't get run support. I believe it's his 3rd or 4th start in a row getting no run support whatsoever. He went 6 innings pitched. He gave up only 3 runs, which isn't bad. It's tough. And if I was Jordan Montgomery, I would not be happy about that at all. But that brings the Yankees to 9 games out of first, behind Boston and all them. It looks like they might come in 4th this year, which is pretty demoralizing for them. I don't know if they're going to make any trades. Every day it seems to get more out of reach with every loss. So we'll see what happens there. And then the Blue Jays are 8 games out still, but they did win last night. The Blue Jays played the Rangers. They won 10-2. Vladdy, 2 for 3 with 2 homers, 4 RBIs, and a walk. Vladdy is insane. He just every night it seems like he homers, or he goes 3 for 3 or 2 for 3 or 3 for 4. It's incredible, and I do truly think that he is the AL MVP if Shohei Ohtani didn't exist. It's kind of unfair. I feel really bad for Vladdy. He's played every single game he's played every single game for the Blue Jays this season, and he's batting .335. That is insanely impressive. He's batting .335, and his OPS is 1.111. That is incredible. That is an incredible line, and it looks like he's gonna it looks like he's just gonna stay, like keep doing that, because there's been no faltering. Like he's just consistently doing this. His OPS plus is a 198. It's impressive, and he hasn't had any lulls in the season. He's just been consistent for the entire way. And then him, Vladdy, Bo Bichette, and Teoscar Hernandez, the three All-Stars from the Blue Jays. They all homered last night, and it was the third time ever that three All-Stars on the same team homered the game after the All-Star break. Kind of a random stat, but I saw it somewhere, and then I found that pretty cool. And the Blue Jays pitching, Robbie Ray has been really good. This year he was a little iffy in the beginning, but since then he's been good. He went 6 and 2/3 innings pitched with no earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts, which is great. His ERA is now below a 3. It's 2.93. He's been great. Their bullpen was good. I do think that they could, if they add a bullpen piece at the deadline and keep just winning games, just grinding them out, they definitely have a chance at the wild card, or I don't want to say the division, but they definitely have a chance at the wild card. Way higher chance than the Yankees, and I would love to see them in the playoffs. I think that they're a young, exciting team, and if they get into the playoffs, that's gonna be some really entertaining baseball. Moving back to the NL, the Reds and the Brewers. This was an important series for the Reds, both teams really, because the Reds were only 4 games out going into it. They're now 5 games out because the Brewers won this one 11-6. Willy Adames went 3 for 5 with a homer, a double, 4 RBIs. Well, he's been nothing but good for them since coming over. They've played really good baseball all year. Their pitching is incredible. Adrian Hauser went 4 innings pitched and then 4 earned runs, so they just turned to the bullpen. The bullpen shut them down the rest of the way. It's tough, but Eugenio Suarez did have a 2-run homer for the Reds, which is what they want. They need him to pick up his play. He had a negative WAR in the first half of the season, which is kind of insane. Aquino also homered, which is nice because we all remember what he did in 2019. If he can get hot again, he can do something like that. The only bad news is Castellanos got taken out after getting hit in the forearm with a pitch. So we'll see what happens with that. I haven't seen anything that he's injured or anything. But they still got a couple more games left in the series. The Reds need to win to stay in. If the Brewers sweep this series, it's going to look a bit out of reach pretty fast for the Reds. And back to the NL West, the Dodgers and the Rockies. Dodgers win 10-4. Not much to it. CJ Cron did have all 4 RBIs for the Rockies. Will they trade him? Maybe. Don't know. And then Will Smith went 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and a homer. And then Chris Taylor hit a 3-run homer. It's the Dodgers and the Rockies. We kind of expected that. Not much else to it. There's one game that I'm not really going to talk about. It's Baltimore and Kansas City. Who really cares? Both of these teams are not good. Whit Merrifield went 4 for 4 with 3 RBIs, so that's something. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Danny Duffy pitched in this game. He's on the trade block. He went 4 innings pitched with 1 earned run, 2 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. And that's pretty much it for the games from yesterday. Today's all the same series. I'll just run through them all real quick, just see if there's any good pitching matchups. The earliest game is at 1 o'clock, which is Detroit and Minnesota. Let's see, Kenta Maeda is going in Game 2. That series, Texas and Toronto. Ryu is pitching for the Blue Jays. Indians, A's. Quantrill versus Frankie Montas, so that's a decent matchup. Cubs and Diamondbacks. Zach Gallen's pitching for the Diamondbacks. He has not been what he was last year so far. We'll see. Alzolay is pitching for the Cubs. It's whatever. Phillies Marlins. Zach Thompson is pitching for the Marlins. He's been good this year. And then Vince Velasquez for the Phillies. Mets Pirates. McGill is on the mound for the Mets. San Diego Washington. It's Blake Snell versus Patrick Corbin. That's a good matchup right there. Baltimore Kansas City. Brady Singer's on the mound for the Royals. No one really cares. Then for Brewers Reds, we got Brandon Woodruff and Luis Castillo. A good start today for Woodruff would put his ERA at or below 2. So sub 2 ERA. Pretty good. We'll see if he can shut down the Reds. And then Luis Castillo started the season terrible, but he's been good as of recent. The Giants and the Cardinals. Descafani against Kim. That's a decent matchup. Two good pitchers. Descafani has been insanely good. Giants are looking good. Houston and the White Sox. Jake Odorizzi versus Lucas Giolito. Giolito has been a little sub this year. He hasn't been as good as he was last year. And then Jake Odorizzi also hasn't been terrible. Hasn't been lights out. Yankees Red Sox, Nathan Eovaldi versus Garrett Cole. That should be a good matchup. If I'm being honest, it's going to be fun. Garrett Cole doesn't have his personal catcher. Kyle Higashioka is on the IL, COVID IL. We'll see what happens there. He's going to be pitching to Gary. And then Nathan Eovaldi has also been pitching really well. He was an all-star too. Not looking good for the Yankees. Very scary. Scary times. Then we got Tampa and Atlanta. Max Fried's pitching for Atlanta. We'll see if Peterson makes the start today. Same thing with Vogt. They just picked him up. Who knows how fast they can get him in there. Dodgers and Rockies. Walker Buehler's on the mound for the Dodgers. If they don't win, it's kind of sad for them. And then the Mariners and the Angels. Yusei Kikuchi, who could be traded. And then Alex Cobb, who is Alex Cobb. And that's pretty much it for today. Saturday. Should be some fun baseball to watch. Keep your eye on it. It seems like the first game, this Twins-Tigers game is going to start in about half an hour for me. So I'll probably watch that. And that's really all that's going on in baseball today. Today in baseball. That's what's going on. If you enjoyed, you can like. You could subscribe. That would be appreciated. I plan on doing these as much as possible. I don't know about every day because there might be some days where I can't. But as of right now, I'm trying to do them as much as possible. I want to get some other content out too. I might stream the Yankee game today when I'm watching it. We'll see. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Peace.